Hey guys, welcome back to Wildman Creations. If this is your first time joining me, my name is Jay, and this is going to be a continuation of the urban emergency preparedness. The whole video just ended up being way too long, and I thought people would get bored, so I'm going to break it up, I think, into 3 parts. So this will be a different part. Okay guys, I forgot something on the lighting. They make these, you can fit these on a mason jar, just a regular mason jar, either pint or quart. If you could find the drinking ones with the regular mouth, that way you've got a handle to carry it around. I think you find them at the grocery store in the 4-pack for like $10. Now these come separate. You have to buy the globe separate from the part that holds the wick. But I thought that was pretty cool, so I got a couple of those. I haven't filled them up yet. This stuff has gone sky high. You used to find it for a little bit of nothing. I mean, now one of these is like $12. It's stupid. And I was lucky to find this one at the store I went to. This was the last one. I did see it on sale at Walmart. I want to say around the middle of summer. They were on for like $6, and I should have bought them out, and I didn't do it like an idiot. But anyway, another avenue for lighting and heating. So I wanted to share that with you. I got a couple of them. And then let me get the rest of this cleaned up, and then we'll get back to the other order of business I wanted to talk. Oh, something else too. I would encourage you all, most of you know that I have my ham license. I would encourage you to get your ham license. That way you've got a way to contact other people if you lose cell service. I've got another antenna that's like 4 times this size. And then I've got one that actually goes on your vehicle. Sometimes I will take it outside. I'll put it on like a pizza plate or a cookie sheet. And I'll set it on the edge of the roof, and it gives me a lot better coverage. And I can talk to people that way. I'm not sure exactly what the range is on this, but if you do that, it'll give you a better range. You know, your antenna is everything. But anyway, if I could encourage you to get your ham license, you can do that. Let me get cleaned up, and we'll be back. Okay, I'm back, and naturally the furnace comes on, so hopefully we can get over that. Let me get rid of some of this bulky stuff, and then I'll be able to zoom in on some of the smaller things over here. This was one of those disposable helium tanks that you buy for like parties or whatever. I took it up to Oklahoma. My cousin Mark was kind enough to cut it out for me. I kind of told him what I wanted, because he's got all the tools to do this. So basically what it is, I've got a gas fireplace, and you're not supposed to burn wood in it. So I told him what I wanted. I wanted to be able to take this thing and stick the chimney up the flue and set it here on the edge to burn wood. Again, I'm getting back to that winter we had 2 years ago. Man, it was miserable in this house. Luckily, I was the only one here. The kids had moved out. My wife was down with her parents watching them. If I'd had something like this would have been a game changer. Again, it's made out of one of those old portable or disposable helium tanks. And you know, he's the one that did all cutting and everything. And what I'm planning on doing, one of the modifications I want to make, is I've got a bunch of these plates. I can't remember where I got them, but I want to weld one up here on top. And I don't know, I may put some out to the sides. I haven't decided yet. So I can do this with one of these wood stove fans. At least that's my intention. but we'll get more into this in a second. Get this out of the way, and then okay, I just got this. I just got this week. The Mr. Heater Big Buddy. It takes the two 1 pound propane cans, or if you get the filter and the hose, you can hook it up to like a 20 pound propane. I've got a 20 pound, a 40 pound, and a 100 pound propane tank, so I wouldn't be lacking for heat. One of the cool things with this, if you look up buddy heater modifications or hacks, whatever, one of the cool things is you can get one of these deals like when you're painting, stick it in your bucket and roll the excess off. That fits right on there, just like that. So you could also do what I was saying, put that fan on there to blow the heat across the room instead of going straight up. And if you'll look, also they have guys have been doing mods on these that cut into here with a saw blade, and they make it where you can actually hook it in where it's sitting like this. Of course, I'm not going to start all this crap up. You know, if you wanted to cook a meal on there, you see how strong that is. I mean, that's a cast iron skillet. What else? Now, a lot of you have probably seen one of these deals where you take and put the clay pot inside the clay pot and they claim it'll heat a room up. It don't work. It does get hot and it does radiate heat in the immediate area. You might be able to heat up your bathroom with it, but it's not going to heat up a 10 by 12, bedroom. It does work to a degree, but like I said, it's not going to heat up a room. You can huddle up next to it, and what it's doing is it's capturing the heat to keep it going straight up, and it gets this thing. I think I had it up to like 400 degrees. So it does radiate, but not enough to heat up a room. I mean, I would still use it. But something else you can do too is you can find these Lowe's, Home Depot. Use some of this chafing fuel, sit up underneath there, set a pot on top of it. I was actually going to get a Haydike block, or one of those half Haydike blocks, and set it on that. And then the last part, well, kind of the last part. Is I'm trying to work on some solar. So I bought a 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery. And it's got some cool features. You can get this one came with a little deal the cigarette adapter, cigarette lighter adapter, and it's got some different USB. And I can't remember the little barrel one that you plug in all that stuff. And then I've got my 2,000 watt pure sine inverter. The idea behind this is if I would have had this a couple of years ago, I could have run my furnace. Now, for how long off of one charge, I'm not sure. Maybe more, not more than 6 or 8 hours. But I still could have taken it out to the garage or out into the driveway and hooked it up to one of the vehicles and charged it back up that way. This would have been a lifesaver. So I'm in the middle of gathering more pieces to this. I still need to get a charge controller and some solar panels, but it will run just like this. All you need is a battery and an inverter, and you'll be fine. The only other thing I wanted to talk about, well, let me do a couple of things. I've got a couple of these USB fans. I know I've been talking about wintertime, but in the summertime, or I guess late spring, early fall, when I go camping, I hang this in my hammock. I clip it on my ridge line. I've got a ridge line on top, point it down on me, and it's kind of the white noise, but also it, on those evenings when it's a little warmer, it's lovely. And I've got another one here too that's a little bit different. It doesn't work as well in my hammock. It blows harder, but it doesn't hang as well. The other thing I wanted to talk about was this chafing fuel. I haven't had one of these apart yet. I was at a company function and they had a bunch of them. They were throwing them away and they had the lids to them, and all of a sudden I had an epiphany and I went, ooh, I wonder if you can refill those. So I gathered up what they had. Some of them had lids, some of them didn't. And I had been studying some of this alcohol stuff anyway, and heat. Of course, it's nothing more than methyl alcohol or methanol. A container like this is about between, you can find it at Walmart for a little over $2. Grocery stores, $3-4. I mean, it's all the way up to $7 in some places. But it's flammable. It's nothing more than methanol, which basically is racing fuel. What I'm getting at is if you've got somewhere you can buy racing fuel, I don't know what it is now. Here a couple of years ago it was $5 to $7. So I wanted to see if I could refill these things. Well, I was taking and pouring it in, and it took forever. I mean, to fill one halfway up, it must have taken me 3 hours. So I was like, well, how are these things put together? Well, I noticed where the wick comes up, there's a little cap that this wick is in, and then I'm not sure how they glue this wool down, this glass wool, but I got to poking around. Got a hole in it. This is the first time I haven't done this yet. So I wanted to see. Okay, now we know. That's what feeds this wick. So the one I did the other day, oh, let me back up. I was at the pharmacy getting a prescription filled, and they had a bunch of these things sitting by the counter. They were free. Had a little tube going on it. I said, how much are these? He goes, oh, they're free, take as many as you want. Yeah, buddy. So I grabbed 3 or 4 of them, and I thought, I wonder if I can get that wick pushed out of the way just enough to draw up some fuel and squirt it down in there. Well, once I fished around and found that hole and was able to get that wick out of the way, oh, back to my, I'm going back and forth here, my fuel. I'm using denatured alcohol because that's the closest thing to methanol that I could find around here. This was 18 bucks for a gallon. So yeah, if you can find racing fuel, that's the way to go. You got a friend that races, or you have somebody around you. I can't find any around here. That's what I want to use. But since I got this, the other night I got out there and I drew some up in here and I worked that out of the way. That thing fit right down in there. And I can't remember, I mean, I don't know, 6 or 7 of these. Some of these come as 6 hour, some of them come as 3 hour. The 6 hour says it's like 7.92 ounces. Heck, I'd fill the whole thing all the way up and see how far you can get. Anyway, I ended up with, I think I ended up with 4 of these that had lids. And you can hear them. This is the one that's got heat. That's the one that has denatured alcohol in it. So this one's a little more full than this one is. So if you can think outside the box a little bit, you know, and keep an eye on things like this, you shouldn't have any problem, you know, getting by if things get hard. I'm just saying. So anyway, that's all I wanted to go over tonight. Other than the fact, I think I did everything else. My military sleep system was the other thing that saved me a couple of years ago. I laid it out in the bed, put it all together. You know, I can't remember. It got down to the high 30s, low 40s here in the house. I slept like a baby. I was nice and toasty, but they're kind of expensive. You can find them at the Army Navy store. I think I paid 150 bucks for this one. They have some Chinese knockoffs that you can get on Amazon that people say are just as good, and they're a lot less expensive. But if you're going to get one, look at it at the store before you pay for it. The big thing is you want to make sure that the bivvy, because it's made out of Gore-Tex, the bivvy is the big thing that you don't want to have any holes in it. But as far as the bags, just make sure they're not ripped and they're clean, and you'll be good. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Just some tips and tricks. Lights, cooking, heat, cooling. Anyway, thank you guys very much for spending your time with me. If you would, hit that subscription button. Hit the like button. If you want to continue to see some of my videos, hit the notification bell. And I'm just going to keep pumping them out. Again, thank you guys. Have a good evening. Hey guys, something else I'd like to add is a PSA, and I probably shouldn't even need to do this, but there's going to be somebody out there that's going to go, well, he didn't tell us to bring fire extinguisher in the house, or he didn't tell us to bring CO2 or a CO1 carbon monoxide detector in the house. You guys use your brain, okay? You hear this all the time, people bringing generators inside the house. I mean, really? Use your head. Do all this, take precautions. If you're going to be doing any of this in the house, have a fire extinguisher handy, have a carbon monoxide detector handy. Again, this is just to get you by in case of an emergency. I know our power was down here a couple of months ago for about half a day, but it wasn't too bad outside. They were, without warning, they changed the transformer at the end of the street, and I didn't know it. You know, we were without power, and then finally I had to get out and go to the store to do something. Then saw all the power trucks out there. But just use your head, okay? Some of these people, you got to wonder, you know, how many of the kids were born brain dead. You know, that's what I always ask some of these guys. Did your mother have any kids that were not born brain dead? I mean, really? Anyway, that's my rant for this evening. Y'all have a good evening. We'll talk to you later.